It's stupid. It don't make no sense to hate discipline. Like, why don't you want to correct what is causing a problem in your life? Like, woo, that got to be some type of Hey y'all, it's your girl, Honey Rollins, and I am back with another video. This video is going to be a little different from my previous videos, but it's very beneficial to your life. So I'm here to give great advice. Pretty soon, people are going to be making goals to where they want to lose weight. They want to make certain changes in their lives. And with that, any change that you have to make and you want to make, you have to have discipline. So that's what I'm going to be talking to you today about, is discipline. And let's start off with the definition of discipline. What is discipline? Discipline is training yourself to do something in a habitual, controlled way. Doing it. But the key word in discipline is to train. To train yourself to do something in a habitual, controlled way. The main thing to do is train. And how do we train ourselves on doing something? You do it over and over and over again. Just like when you learned the ABCs, you try A, B, C, going off of memory, A, B, C, D, J, K. Like, no, do it over. A, B, like you have to do it over and over. And that's how you train yourself to do something. That's how you have discipline, is to train yourself. So I'm going to give you 5 tips in which you can use to practice discipline, to become more trained in doing something. And this is something that you need. And whatever you would like to do, especially if you haven't did it for a long time. Okay, let's go. So the first tip is going to be to recognize. You have to recognize, come to awareness within yourself on something that, first of all, needs to be changed and you would like to change personally. So for instance, like time management. You identify the reasons, the value behind why time management is important, the value behind why you would want to lose weight, for instance. So time management, not being on time could possibly affect your job, could possibly affect the way people perceive you as your level of caring for yourself, the level of caring for other people's time. It could come off as you're very inconsiderate, you don't care, whatever, say it's an event or a family function, like it would come off as if you don't know how to prioritize, you know what I'm saying? Like, so if you have an issue with time management, those actions of yours actually affect other people. Because if you have a lunch date with somebody and they're expecting you at 3 o'clock, they're there at 3 o'clock, and you don't get there until 3:15, 3:20, 3:30. They sitting around waiting you, like, and now they feel like, wow, that's very inconsiderate of my time. Because first of all, what if I have something to do after this situation? Now you're here 30 minutes later, and I'm expected to leave because I got another appointment at 4:30, like 5 o'clock. Like, I need to get up out of here. So now your actions have moved everything else behind. You need to do better on time management. Weight loss. When you're looking at losing weight, why? What is the reason that you will want to lose weight? Is it just because you want a slimmer waist? Is it because you have health conditions that you want to have under control? Is it that you want to prevent health issues in the future? Is it because, whatever the reason may be, you identify, you come to awareness with yourself on why you would like to make this change. In order to make the change in something, if you don't see any value in it in the first place, it's really going to be very, very hard for you to have discipline in doing better in the area, because you don't see what's the point. I don't care about anybody else's feelings or time when it comes to, I get there when I get there. If that's how you feel and that's how you view it, you'll never change. So you have to discover the value of why you want to make the change, okay? That's tip 1. Tip 2, Tip 2 is, once you've set the goal, once you've made a conscious decision on the change that you want to make, don't look at the full picture so far on. You set small goals that lead to the bigger goal. So let's use weight loss, for instance. Like, I want to lose 20 pounds. If you want to lose 20 pounds, you're thinking like, oh my gosh, 20 pounds is such a large amount. I'm going to have to do so much work. And you get overwhelmed in just the thought of what you have to do to lose 20 pounds. So you break this goal down into small increments that lead up to the bigger goal. I'm going to start off with 10 pounds for this month. You break it down. If it's something that you need to cut back on, like, okay, I need to cut back on carbs, or I need to cut back on sweets, or I need to cut back on processed food, so I'm not going to eat meat. If you're trying, for a person who's been eating chicken for a long span of time, probably all of their life, you can't just stop eating chicken cold turkey. Like, okay, so let's start with a week. Let's start with a week. Let's see how you can do with 7 days. And if you make it through those 7 days, okay, I made it through 7 days. Let's do 2 weeks. Let's keep on egging it on, because eventually I'm winking myself off of it, and you'll start to discover it's really not that important. You don't need to have meat, chicken with every meal or every time you eat. You know what I mean? So break the goal down into small increments that lead up to the bigger picture in which you're trying to result in. And number three is very important. All of these are important and they work hand in hand together. But number 3 is very important because it's accountability. Now, if we practice in discipline here, apparently you can't hold yourself accountable all the time. So you need somebody else to help you with that. Now, whether it be your friends that hold you accountable, or a friend that holds you accountable. And some people will say, well, I don't have no friends, or they don't want to do it with me. Okay, so this is how I held myself accountable. I use social media to hold myself accountable because I start showing up. Like when I first lost 20 pounds, y'all, nobody around me was doing it. And the way that I decided to do it, people didn't understand it. I told myself I wasn't eating any meat and I wasn't eating any carbs. And what else did I do? I don't really eat sweets and stuff like that, but I was working out every day, like 6 days a week at least. And I was not letting up. So I was not, and I didn't have nobody to come along with me on that journey. So I wanted to document it so that way I can hold myself accountable. Like my number one thing is I don't use scales. I just take pictures. So I would take pictures, I had videos, and I would post in my story every day of me detoxing, me taking my liquid multivitamin, NutriBurst. I would be working out. I do workout video. Like I took pictures and I held myself accountable. Like this is what I did today, and I made sure that I was consistent in that. So if you don't have any friends that will join you in with whatever goal that you're trying to accomplish or hold you accountable to it, like if you running late, girl, okay, you know the party start at 6. Your homegirls need to be calling you at 3 o'clock. Like, are you getting ready? Are you getting ready? Did you already see where you at? Okay, be at my house by 4:30. Okay, now even if they don't make it there by 4:30, we still got wiggle room to make it to the event by 6 o'clock. You know what I'm saying? But have people hold you accountable. And if you can't hold yourself accountable, you need to use social media. You need to record it, set your alarm. You need to practice that and hold yourself accountable there. Okay. And number 4 is going to be constantly reminding yourself on why this level of discipline, why this area of discipline needs to change. Why did you start? Why did you identify an area of that you needed to work on? Why do you identify that it needs to be improved? And constantly remind yourself of that, because that will keep you on track. Of course, it will keep you on track. Like, okay, honey, even if you fall off, say if you happen to slip up 1 day, 2 days, whatever, you have to get back on track. and remind you, and that's why you remind yourself why you started in the first place. That's number 4. These tips. Number 5 is last, but it's definitely not the least in these tips. You need to pray. Ask God for wisdom, ask Him for guidance, ask Him for understanding, and courage to step outside of your norm. Step outside of your norm of what you've been doing. Like it said, faith without work is dead. So you can believe like, yes, I want to make this change. I want to do all this. But if you ain't working towards it in no capacity, it will not happen, honey. Let's not be surprised, okay? And, you know, I got some other scriptures for you. Proverbs. These are from Proverbs. To learn, you must love discipline. It is stupid to hate correction. That's Proverbs 12:1. Okay? This is also in Proverbs. Dang, I didn't write it down. But it says, people who accept discipline are on the path to life, but those who ignore correction will go astray. People who accept discipline are on the path to life. You have to love discipline. It's stupid. It don't make no sense to hate discipline. Like, why don't you want to correct what is causing a problem in your life? Like, woo, that got to be some type of hold and captivation that negativity and evil has on your life, honey. Like, why wouldn't you want to improve? You have to improve. And if you improve, you have to practice discipline. You have to implement discipline. We read and we correct, and you know, you don't know what you don't know, right? But when you know better and you don't do better, honey, that's just stupid. What? Okay, but we are on different levels, so I understand. Everybody ain't gonna get it the first time, but you practice over and over and over. You do it over and over again. That's how you train, right? These football players, these basketball players ain't just boom, pop up on the court. Now they maybe had some skill, but how do they get better? How do they improve? They trained, okay? Stuff don't happen overnight. Even with your job, honey. Even with your job. When you walk in there, you have some knowledge. That's why you got it. You have some skill. That's why you got the job, right? But we're here to improve you. We want to enhance your skills. And you're going to go through training so you can do it right. And even in the training, you don't learn everything. And on the job, you learn even more. Because it's training. Because you're doing it every day, right? Okay, so let's implement those things in our life. And that's how we're going to move throughout the third quarter going into the next year, 2022. Me myself personally, I do not want to go into 2022 doing the same things that I was doing in 2021, especially if they not beneficial to my life. That just don't make sense to me. But we work and we're working and we're improving, and that's the best part. That's the best thing about it. You can improve. It's always room for improvement, right? Have a good day. If you like this video, like it, subscribe, and send it to your friends, because sometimes people just need to hear it and they don't want to hear it from your mouth, so they can hear it from mine. Have a good day.